Hey everybody, and welcome to the second video of the AJS News this week.
Same PSA, guys. We are doing a AJSA face mask where all profits are going to be used to fund the production of 2 additional masks that are going to be donated to hospitals, medical facilities, and other frontline workers. We don't see a dime. We're just trying to do something cool and good. This mask is FDA registered, but it is not rated as an N95 respirator guaranteed to save you from the virus. No, this is just kind of a precautionary measure. Just recently, the CDC did recommend that people wear, cloth, protection in some way. And this is better than, say, getting a bandana or a piece of cloth or your shirt or something like that. And it basically kind of serves as a reminder not to touch your face, because I'm always touching my face when I go outside and shit. So if you guys want to check out the link down below, we've got some masks, and I try to do some cool designs. There's sort of like a cyberpunkish samurai look to it, and then there's also like a Warhammer 40K Imperium Space Marine look. I was like, hey, if we're gonna be wearing a mask, might as well look cool. So we've already placed our order, and we should be getting those masks soon. Maybe we'll wear them for the next news show so that you guys can see what you would look like with them. And yeah, click the link down below. Again, no profits. The profits are used when you buy that mask. It automatically donates 2 additional masks to important places, because there's still a shortage going around of PPEs across the country, which is personal protective equipment. So yeah, guys, check it out.
Yeah, thanks to MetaThreads for running that program. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, the first one I want to cover is Animal Crossing. It's banned in China.
Why?
Too many animals.
Not enough social score credits.
It is so funny because like the number of like weird clickbait titles. It's like Animal Crossing's banned, like the Chinese government. No, not. But the thing is,
skeletons.
Well, yeah, no skeletons, no blood, no anything in China. No, it's just there's free chat. And so the problem is the Chinese government always has restrictions on what can be shared and what kind of chat functions there are. And so people were using Animal Crossing to display like free Hong Kong messages, and the Chinese government just didn't have access to like censor those things yet. So they're working on it, and eventually Animal Crossing's coming. And there's a lot of Animal Crossing stuff. It's a huge market for them. But as of right now, Animal Crossing is officially banned in China until they get the chat thing sorted out, because people were using you can't protest in Hong Kong right now. You can't be around people with the social distancing. So people were using it as a platform to get the message out and report on things. And
yeah,
China
I like
said
that
no.
picture you sent me. The guy has his own little hut, and then the welcome mat says "Free Hong Kong."
Yeah. So none of that stuff
okay,
anymore.
I see. I see
Come
why.
on, China, man.
So
shoot,
it sounds much worse than it is. I imagine in the next couple weeks, they're going to get that sorted out. But as of right now, if you are in China and you don't already have a copy, you can no longer get a copy. Unless you order it through some other means that you're not supposed to in China.
Probably.
Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about this week is Valorant. If you've been on Twitch, you've probably seen everybody. Every major streamer was playing.
I've seen people on Twitter complain that don't have a copy.
Yes.
I don't really care, so I'm not asking for one. Yeah. What is it? I haven't looked at it.
Okay, so Valorant is a game made by Riot. So Riot makes League of Legends, game that I wouldn't say I love, but I play a lot of.
You adore.
No. It's more like I have like an abusive relationship with it. It's just, when you're feeling too good about yourself, you play League of Legends.
It domestically abuses Alex.
Yeah, and so 12-year-olds.
Back.
Yeah. So Valorant is their first-person shooter. It's like a combination of a bunch of different things. There's Team Fortress 2 aspects to it. There's Counter-Strike stuff in there. Its own little universe.
Sounds cool.
And so people were streaming it, and the reason that it's in the news is because not only did it come out, but it hit the Twitch single-day viewership record.
Yeah, damn.
And it was insane. Really? 1.7 million concurrent viewers, 34 million hours watched. I mean, it was
fucking awesome? Or is it just the exclusivity?
It was the exclusivity of it, right? Definitely gave some money, and they gave it to select people just so they could really hype the hell out of it.
Like
and so
Ninja
they did,
and people like that, I guess.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And so everyone possible that could stream this game, and that Riot has good relationships with, stream the game. So, I mean, the game looks interesting. There's first-person shooter stuff.
When does it come out? Do you know?
The official release is we're still in the closed beta. So I don't have it here when the official release comes out.
Okay,
but probably
cool.
later this year.
I'll look it up, open beta, because it sounds cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting shooter. Every character has got like different special powers, and so if you're a fan of like the Overwatch style games, a little bit like Team Fortress
and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so this is that style of game. This
Okay.
is what they're going for. So again, big couple of years for Riot. They're coming out with a bunch of new games. Runeterra, their card game. League is obviously still going. This game, Valorant, and I think they have a fighter that was. I've seen screenshots of, but I don't know if that's like officially.
I remember talking about like they were going
Hard,
hard.
yeah,
like,
tons of different
Riot
things.
was just coming for Blizzard.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
so Valorant is like the Overwatch killer.
yeah, but that's what they're trying to go
I'm
for.
gonna have to put some time into watching it.
Yeah.
Maybe send some emails out, see if we can get a code. But I guess no, we have way too much to do,
we do.
man. We got Final Fantasy.
Wait till the
7.
open beta comes.
We got freaking Wastelanders, guys.
I'm excited for Wastelanders.
Wastelanders, April 14th. I still have to play Modern Warfare. Quads came out. I want us as AJS, Angry Joe Show, to go
I'm
out there
playing
and get
by
our
myself,
asses kicked.
solo.
Dude,
got
he's
fourth
actually
place.
with
doing
yourself?
pretty good.
Fourth
In
place.
solos, he ranked 4th. That's good for Joe.
Joe's really good at
Been
playing
doing
with himself.
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
Master Alex.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Valorant.
Oh, so
super
that's Valorant.
popular.
Huge
Very
closed beta
exclusive.
stream release. So I imagine it's going to get bigger and bigger as things come out. So
We'll
now
jump on when it goes open beta, I guess.
well, we can't meme anymore because they've been called Riot Games for so long, but they only had one game for a decade, and so now it makes sense that we
Yeah,
can call
Riot
them
Games.
Riot Games. All right, the big story this week is the big reveal that everyone wanted to know. Like when we were streaming, they're like, "What do you think about the PlayStation 5 controller?" It's like it's a controller, but it came out this week, and it looks interesting.
No,
more.
I
Tell me
like
more.
discussion of this.
Okay.
What are you fucking talking about? Look at this thing. It is fucking beautiful. It is fucking sleek.
It's mixed.
It's fucking new.
There's
It
a lot of
is.
people-
Half the people hate it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it looks.
I
I think it looks
great.
cool.
Yeah,
It-
same.
Looks
I told
great.
everyone it
A
reminded.
lot of it is you got to get your hands on something.
Well, yeah.
gotta
If
get
it's
your
this
hands
big, and I'm just gonna be like, I hate this thing.
He's just freak.
I used to have a little tiny Xbox controller,
Like keychain?
Keychain.
Oh,
Seen
yeah.
that? It's
Yeah.
around here
Yeah.
somewhere. But anyway.
All right, but we actually got a bunch of new the features of it, which are
specs?
important
Yeah,
to kind of
tell
go
me,
over,
tell
right?
me.
The biggest thing is the haptic feedback, right? And so this is not just a rumble pack that you shove into the back of your Nintendo 64 controller. This is something that as you are in a racing game, you're going to feel the car go over pavement and change to go over certain things. Apparently,
This guy's bought into the media hype. You know that
I'm
haptic
reading
is in the
ro-
Switch.
This is
fucking
the news.
Did you know that they're in the Switch Joy-Cons? That same technology is in the Switch Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm
has
do you-
it been a revolutionary?
No, do you want me to read the news
Yeah,
thing?
go ahead.
All right. So in addition to the 3D audio, which is that's not in the controller itself, they're claiming that it's going to revolutionize the way that you play,
God
and it's going to be really
damn.
important. Adaptive triggers are really important, according to them. It's going to allow game developers to program the resistance level on the triggers, give you different feelings for different things that you're doing within the game.
Pulling back a bow.
I guess, but it's just, I mean, how often is this going to be something that you don't really notice, but eventually that will like miss it not being there versus on the Xbox, or is it just we just won't care?
Yeah.
There's a new
probably forget
create
about it.
button. Now, there used to be called the share button, and the create button does literally everything that the share button does, but with one new thing.
Call it fucking start.
I only press the button accidentally.
Yeah, it's
every
like,
fucking
God
time.
damn
Like,
it,
God
no, I don't
damn
want
it.
Options and create.
Yeah, I
not
was like, God
start.
damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hate that button. Everybody hates that fucking button now.
yeah.
But they're doing so many creative designs. Like, have you seen some of the tweets that they changed the color scheme? Some of them look pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
I like the black design. I like the white design, but that shit's gonna get dirty immediately.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's an audio jack, which is again really important. One of the things in
It
there.
actually comes with a built-in microphone too.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you
the-
don't have an audio. You could do the audio jack for a better headset. But if you don't have one, it's nice to have one.
Yeah, one of the things that was really important in their their demonstration of the technical specifications was the amazing audio that they built into the PlayStation. They wanted to make this a truly immersive experience as they can, and sound plays a really important part. Now, the average person doesn't have a 7.1 surround sound system attached to their PlayStation. No. And so one of the ways they said to get around that is if you have a good pair of headphones, plugging it directly into the controller is a way that, along with the haptic system and the adaptive triggers, and now your
I
headphones,
want it to be cool. I want that haptic to be like, oh.
Yeah, just hold down there. So that they're claiming that's going to do it. It has a built-in microphone, which I may be cool. I don't know, but it's not something.
I always use a headset. I don't like the.
I'm just telling you that the built-in microphone is a cool idea for people that can't afford to go out and buy a $300 headset that sounds fucking super cool.
Yeah.
You're gonna get better audio because this thing is closer to your face as you're playing the controller than say I don't know.
I never want to talk to the people unless I'm playing games with like one of you guys or people that I know. I never want to talk to or listen to the people that I'm playing games with.
I know.
So like built-in microphone.
Our situation is different from just people that are playing and just buy the PlayStation and don't give a shit about the best audio.
If you are 12 and you want to yell slurs at people in Call of Duty,
right,
this microphone is for you.
Now.
Like I don't. It's like it's going to be crystal clear.
It's like yelling
I'm
in
a what?
in your controller.
That is horrible, but creative. Like, geez. All right. Now, there's some rumors based on patents that Sony has filed. Now, patents don't mean it's coming, but there's patents filed by Sony with the controller that says that we could have additional features. Wireless charging. Now, wireless charging would be something
that would be fucking
would be
awesome.
cool. That something just clips onto the back of the controller. Now, Sony has filed something where something does attach to the controller and shows the Sony
attached to the controller
that allows
I'd like
it
to just leave it, on a little pad.
Yeah. So the patent itself shows like a small thing clipping in, and then now it's just like a wireless thing. So we'd have to see how it works because again, patents are
okay.
As long as a little dongle
Wireless.
or something, you should be fine.
Ooh, even cooler, yeah.
Heart rate and sweat sensors. That sounds. Not like heart rate maybe, but like
drinking your sweat.
Yeah, it's just like sucking it into the controller. Play games with someone, you pass control, and you're like, ew. Like
no, I like the heartbeat sensor idea because you can use that in horror games and and try to scare you or do something dynamic in the game. That could be fucking cool. This is really cool shit though. Like this is stuff that they're thinking about. Whether it actually gets implemented or not is yet to be seen. But the fact that they're talking about it now and they're excited now and they are implementing all this technology now into this new controller. Tell me what do we got on the Xbox?
There's one more thing I want to talk about with this
Okay.
one. There's voice control, which again built-in microphone, so you'd be able to go like PlayStation on, like
you
play
can do
Red
that
Dead.
now on both. No, you can do that now already.
Now for Microsoft, the quote that I want to read, I think it's from Tech Radar, says the Series X controller doesn't have many other special features besides the share button. Cool. You like the share button? Because now they have a share button. Did you?
Wow.
Yeah. And, the new D-pad, improved grips. This is the one good thing, right? Promising ultra-responsive inputs via its fast input scanning technology. It can capture button presses as fast as 2 milliseconds. Really important stuff. So it doesn't vibrate, doesn't do jiggle for you. But, when you're trying to play a fighting game, you want the inputs to be fast.
I actually didn't know that this is a new controller. You look at it, it looks exactly the same. So the D-pad is improved, a little bit of the grips,
Faster response time.
and then faster response time. I wonder how that response time compares to the PlayStation
Yeah, that's what I was
controller.
gonna ask.
And if the PlayStation controller is about exactly the same or faster, then it just feels like Xbox is kind of lagging behind here. Now I know the mentality because, in my opinion, the Xbox controller is the ultimate controller. I mean, there's no better fucking controller than that controller right there. It's my favorite. It feels the best in my hand. So maybe Microsoft is going like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
But now I got a share button.
I subscribe to that idea. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But when your competition is doing all this sexy ass stuff, it feels a little bad and it feels a little behind that, you're not doing a little bit more, change it up a little bit more.
Well,
what do you guys think?
They probably had to make
If
a
it
lot
ain't
of
broke, don't fix it.
Well, no, I do want them to improve, but they probably had to make concessions, right? So they have to make a system that probably going to be around $500-$600, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, what can we do? We can really beast out the components within the Xbox itself, give you the best processor, the best graphics card, and everything, or we can make the controller a little bit better, right?
That argument is invalid because they're doing the same thing with the PlayStation 5 console, but yet they have a brand new.
But all of the
sleek
components
controller.
inside the Xbox are better than the ones in the PlayStation one. Other than
Oh,
the
is
hard
that
drive.
true?
Yeah, because it's faster. It's got a better graphics.
Barely. I mean, you don't know in real world does those teraflops translate into a better game?
Flaps.
No, we don't. But we do know they cost more. So
I'm for
That much
improving-
more that they can change up the controller. What about?
Yeah,
Well, okay, so what do you think?
I think that they probably like when you're deciding like what you can improve on. I imagine budget's probably the most important thing when they're trying to talk about all the specifications. And they're like, look, people enjoy our controllers. Do we need adaptive triggers? No. Do you need haptics that no one liked
Fast
anyway on the
response
Switch?
time?
Probably
Yes.
no. I
But
just
wanna
I'm
get that
buying
kill.
something brand new. I expect a little bit more of an evolution.
Yeah, same.
I
I would
agree.
improve on the controller, but if it was up to Alex, he still wants that Duke.
When you're using shit like budget, that's not good for when you're bringing out a hot new hotness like Will Smith. You
I like
old
that-
and busted.
Yeah, that sleek
I'm new
look. Looks
hotness.
so cool.
Right? It's sleek and cool, and it has new features, and honestly, it looks like they ripped off the Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the
it's
Xbox
so
and
much
Xbox, I even saw Xbox did tweet this. It's like they put up their controller, at the same time around the same time Sony revealed their controller, and other people kind of overlaid the controllers amongst each other. And really the only thing that's different is the placement of the analog, stick and the D-pad. But I love the Xbox controller, so I'm not mad at them. I'm just like, okay, cool. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But there's no doubt it's less sexy. There's no doubt some words like budget come into play there. I
Always
mean,
does.
let's jam as much technology as we can in this new piece of hardware that people are gonna be like, I gotta save up for this thing. I want
It's
it
like,
all.
which one is better?
Which one has the most for it? But
More bang for
cool.
your buck.
All right. So in my opinion, without getting my hands on it, my first impressions of these two controllers, I'm leaning towards the PS5 controller.
I think the controller for the PS5 definitely looks better. I mean, just visually.
But
So-
we want to wait until we get it in our hands.
Well, I want to
and
know
when we
games.
review.
Give me the games. I'm not
Well, no,
buying.
we can do hardware reviews too. So
Yeah.
when we get them in our hands, we'll
Yes.
tell you which one is actually better. It might be
Hunter the
Xbox.
Reckoning
Yeah.
Maybe Xbox.
remake. Yes.
You're gonna bring that into this
One, two.
news.
I want to
too?
play Hunter the
Well, we're
Reckoning.
talking-
Please explain it to.
Nope.
This
Go
is
back
not a
and watch
news
the first
story
video.
between y'all two.
Go back and watch the first video, and then you'll know what we're talking about. All right. So you mentioned Warzone.
I like that.
Yeah. You mentioned Warzone. They added quads, and in order to add quads, they removed trips, and everyone hated it. So
Why?
Why the fuck would you remove trips?
I don't know.
didn't know about this.
Yeah. So
It's fucking stupid. Add quads, keep trips.
well, they did the other thing, which is they add quads and they took away trips, and people were pissed.
Yes.
And so they
you
were
stupid fuck.
They were so pissed, and there were so many tweets and emails that now we got trips back.
Good.
Yeah.
Is quad still there? Because I
Quad's
want to
still
play
there.
with y'all.
Yes.
as a
Quad's
group.
is
What
still
the
there.
fuck, man? Activision. I guess what they were thinking is, okay, maybe queue times, and we want all of the players to filter
There's
into this. No, don't
50
fucking tell
million
people
people
what to
playing.
do and how to play. Yes, there's too many people playing.
Yeah, it
It's
says
okay.
They claim that there's over 50 million players in Warzone. So
Yeah,
queue
you're
time's
fucking
not a
fine.
queue time's not an issue.
No.
Stupid idiot.
I was just reading this whole thing, and it's just like, no matter what you do in this situation, if you're taking something away, you're just pissing people
Stop.
off. So, well, it's
At least you got it back, though.
can
There's
play
no
trips
good
again.
reason for trips to have gone.
And they're talking about having duos get
Yeah, I was
added to.
about to say, it's like, where are my duels?
Yeah, and so duos are probably going to be coming in. I believe they said season 3, and so they're
And
slowly.
then 5.
Yeah, and then up to 5, and then you'll just do 75 on 75, and then it's just Call of Duty again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm up for fucking, like 20 on 20 little clans. I think Fortnite has done stuff like that before. So I want them to keep. Well, that's how you do these things. You keep evolving, but don't take shit away.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't. Just add to it. Add to that package. You'll get more players, More people will
If they were
buy
dealing
in.
with a small player base, it makes sense that you can only choose one or two things. 50 million is an absurd amount of players you have right now. Like, give people as many options as you want, keep people happy. You'll keep the lifespan of this game just stretches longer and longer the more people are happy and playing. All right, the last thing I want to cover this week is Google Stadia. Now, Google Stadia is not doing so well. But right now, in case you're interested, it's over there somewhere.
Where is it?
Open that.
That cabinet.
The cabinet.
Cabinet.
This cap.
So, Google Stadia Pro subscription, normally $10 a month, in addition to the cost of the goddamn video games, is now free. 2 months. You want
It's free. Do you want it? It's free, Joe. Take it, please. Take it. It's free.
What do you think of that controller?
want
It's
it.
free.
I don't want it.
It's free.
Meh.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's,
Meh.
it's kind of cheap and not there. It's free. Take it.
Yeah, that's fine. This looks like a swap meet knockoff Xbox controller that you
So
would
we
get.
win. We win.
For 2 months. It's only free for 2 months.
What? Come on.
then-
All right, hold on.
I was ready to start maybe considering and talking about Google Stadia doing something positive. 2 months.
And then a year.
No,
Yeah.
the service needs to be free. It needs to have a free option. It needs to do, stop trying to charge people another subscription fee on top of all the other games that they got to pay for.
And then sometimes the games are more expensive because they're priced as a console versus PC release, which is a whole different thing that we've done a bunch of things on.
Well, hold on. So they got to make money somehow. It's either make the service free and then make the games like $3, $5 more expensive, and then you own those.
Well, Stadia's a platform like Steam. They take a percentage of the sales.
Right. Or do it like, a Netflix where you just pay one fee and then the games are free.
Yeah, if Stadia
rotation.
If Stadia was $60 a month or $30 a month and you had access to everything in their library and didn't have to pay for them, that would be fine.
That's what I mean by Stadia should go free, but that's not free. So
Yeah. Or if they just keep the same model that they have now and just say that there's no more service fee, you get to buy the games on our platform and play them, and they just keep 20%, 30%, whatever their agreement is with the game developers, like Steam does and Epic does and all the other
I
games.
don't like your logic, Alex.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
throw it out the window.
The funniest thing about this, the reason I wanted to bring this up, is because there was this insane quote that all right, I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
They say so much other crap that doesn't matter, but they said, in order to, to the good guys that they are, in order to reduce load on the internet further, we're working toward a temporary feature that changes the default screen resolution from 4K to 1080p. Nothing runs in 4K anyway, but now they're claiming that it's because of the coronavirus.
We're doing it for you.
They knew about it.
We're being responsible.
Yeah.
We never had the feature in the first place.
But we're claiming that you don't get it because
here's why. Because we're responsible.
Some bullshit.
That is fucked. Fuck you. Oh, my God. They're giving away Stadia free, and the biggest thing is nobody cares.
and no one wants it.
Nobody cares. And it's like, this is why you get it right the first time.
Yeah.
Because if Stadia came out and it was gamer-centric, gamer-friendly, they were doing all the right things, they came out when it was ready, not in a fucking, alpha or
just
beta.
Stamp beta on it.
And make the gamers happy with a lot of concessions and a lot of cool features and, basically no nonsense. We would be here right now. Yeah, everybody do it. But no, it feels like a dying service.
Which it is.
Another one of the
giving it
things
away
that will
again.
be furlonged or mothballed, rather, into
The Google project.
Glass.
non-existent.
Yeah.
Google Glasses.
And that as soon as you start offering your service free, that's when you're desperate, you're worried.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope they can turn things around and change things up quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, ultimately they need to turn things around.
As funny it is to make fun of all the things that we make fun of, we want better. We're consumers, right? And we want the people producing the things to make better things for us.
Yeah.
Like
We're only
as much
making
as
fun of you because you're making dumb decisions.
yeah, make something better, and we will play it. Like we want.
And
We,
we'll- yeah.
You mentioned 76, right? It's like I want Wastelanders to be good. I really, honestly.
Oh, we're gonna give it a
want
fair
Wastelanders
fucking
to
shake.
be good because I love Fallout and I want them to turn it into that steaming pile of shit into something I'll actually play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want it to be good, but Stadia they haven't done anything to make it
You're
good.
making it so hard for
Yeah.
me to like you.
Yeah, it's like you
I'm
keep fucking everything
trying.
up, and I.
The second they announced that thing that I'm talking about, Google Stadia is now Netflix. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Then it's like, okay, let's talk. Let's look at it. You know, and,
4K.
But
Just take away, just be like, look, we guarantee 1080p, we don't guarantee 4K, and then everything is fine. So, all right, well, that was the last thing I want to talk about. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
no, we did have a Bannerlord review out, a rapid fire review. Did not, the like ratio is not very good on it. I think Delroy pissed off a lot of Mountain Blade 2 fans, Bannerlord. Now, granted, I can see both sides of this. A little bit of it was my fault. Let me take some blame for that because I put out the review late, and by the time I put out the review, some of the patches had fixed some of the things that Del was talking about. And so, of course, the people in the comments were fucking pissed. Oh, that's not the case anymore. This was already fixed in a recent patch. But then I also see the other side of the argument where it's like,
It's
well,
a beta.
It's an easy access.
it's
early access.
you know, it's out, it's selling for $50 or $40 or whatever it is. I haven't yet bought it, but I do want to play it, but I've just been busy with the other stuff, so we had Del review it. And so I think what happened is the fact that it's called a review. You know, reviewing something in early access, it can get a bit contentious. And I don't know if you know, the Mountain Blade fans, they are hardcore. They've been waiting for this game for
see
like
that.
8 fucking
I mean, I
years.
loved the original.
Oh, yeah.
And you played.
Oh, I love-
Well, the thing
I
is, I
loved it
only
too.
played the mods really, but it's
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
that game actually didn't come out all that, you know,
No, it
in
didn't.
good shape either.
Yeah, I mean,
so
look.
I understand Dell and I support Dell in the fact that this thing came out, it was buggy, it was broken, but they kind of let people know that in initially, you know, early access. I think what he was coming from it is like, in comparison to other early accesses, this one is not quite as good as other early accesses. But I think in the future, if we're going to do something like that, we need to do an impressions video instead of a review
As the
video
current state, yeah.
on an early access. And then once Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlords comes out
Next year.
in
Release.
full fucking release, and we do a review on it, I don't want to see no goddamn, you know, fanboys like defending the game if it's still broken as fuck. They better be, you know, rallied with us, because that's what we do at the Angry Joe Show. We call it like we see it. If it's buggy as fuck and it's broken,
Yeah.
we're gonna say that, and it's gonna affect the
Well,
score.
I mean, I completely support Dell, but I don't agree with him at all. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. What do you disagree with?
I don't think it's an early access game. All of the criticisms that he has of the game, there's an essay on Steam when you buy the game. It's like, this is what you expect when you get the early access game. It's gonna be buggy. Things aren't gonna work. We're doing everything we can. It's a smaller studio. And yes,
So because they tell you that, you know, it's in a bad state, and then they charge you $50, it's okay.
Yes.
What would happen if, you know, all of the companies started doing that and putting out games in full release in that state, and put out
Yeah.
just a letter saying, hey, this is not going to be all that great,
all
but
game
we want to
companies,
put this out.
if all game companies that size did it, totally fine with it. EA starts doing it, then fuck right off. They've got the money to do it. But they're not a massive game company. It's a small.
But what I'm saying is, are you allowed to criticize that when it comes out in that state?
Yeah, but
Because they wrote that
there's
post.
ways to criticize, and then there's there's times where you can criticize things in the game, like, hey, I don't like the way this game plays, right? But like criticizing the game because like bugs are there is like an inappropriate criticism for an early access game. Saying this game isn't fun because I don't like the core mechanics of the game, like some of his criticisms about combat, they can tweak, but I agree with, right? Because there's a lot of times where it's like there's no point, and you're just like you're doing some of those things. But like sieging not working, well, yeah, man, it's like it's an early access game. So
Okay, so you are willing to give some concessions. And I think in the future, and I agree, I think that it should be an impressions video.
Yeah.
Here's the state that the early access is in, and then give a recommendation. Maybe you should wait a few weeks, or, you know, I don't think it's worth quite this much money. Wait a month until a few more patches come out, rather than reviewing it in that state that it came out just because they're charging for that. Because, you know, it just leaves the door open too much for hardcore mega fans to come and brigade the video and say, no, you're wrong. You know, this patch has already fixed this, and this patch has already fixed that. It gets a little confusing. So honestly, for me, the most important thing is if you see the early access there, we probably shouldn't review it. We should probably do impressions going forward so that once a game comes out, okay, and I think all three of us agree that if Bannerlord is still in a fucked state when they say, boom, this is full release, we're going to give it some shit.
Yeah, especially. I
think the game is fun as fuck. You know, I've actually seen Sheriff Eli play it, a little bit of Dell playing it. I know they're having fun, so it's not like it's a piece of shit. It's not garbage.
It's a foundation. I mean, all of their games are foundations for people to build their own fun because it's a build your own fun. It's a
I think a
sandbox
lot of it is built in the fact that it's been in development so fucking long.
It's a small Turkish studio.
I know, but it shocks you when it comes. Yeah, but how long did it take
7
them
or
to
8
do the
years?
first one? And I guess you're right.
They're
The
building
first
their
one
own
did-
engines,
It
though.
took the first one a long time to get good, and then
Yeah.
mods actually is where most of us were
Yeah.
playing, and not the actual thing. So I guess that makes sense. And they are a small studio, but you know, it just kind of shocked me that that's the state that it
Stuff
came out
happens
with
in the development
after
thing, so
8 years. Okay, cool. All right. So just wanted to address it that in the future I think we're going to do early access impressions rather than early access reviews because that gets contentious. It's like, well, how can you review something that they said is, hey, this is not done yet. We are still developing it.
Yeah.
We're still working on it. That just gets into the whole early access discussion. And is it fair to review something when it comes out if they're charging a certain price for it?
Yeah, I think you just change the parameters and say we can talk about core gameplay things. You can criticize things that aren't going to change, and you kind of ignore some of the things that you hope do change, like bugs and things
All
like
right,
that.
guys. So thank you so much for watching. Check out those masks. That link down below. If you get one, it pays for 2 more masks that are donated. We don't receive any profits at all for that. We just, hey, if we got to wear masks, might as well look cool a little bit doing it, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.